everyone, and welcome to this video on how to make a pattern like Sonia Delaunay. You can see here that she's using these concentric circles, that is circles within circles, and she's even using half circles by splitting some of the circles with a line, which we call bisecting a circle. So we're going to have a look at Sonia Delaunay. Here she is. She was famous in the 1920s for designing all sorts of patterns that went on curtains and textiles and clothing. And you can see that she did a lot of abstract work. This is one that had a figure in it. You can also see that she did lots of stripes, and we're going to make something a little bit like this with oil pastels. And you can see here that we're blending the oil pastels to make one colour go into another. So step one, we are going to create our composition. And I'm just doing it in pen so that you can see it better on the video, but you're going to be doing it in pencil. You can use anything to draw around that's round. You can even use a compass. And here you can see I'm making those concentric circles that she likes so much by using different sizes of circles. You can see here where she has used a line to bisect the circles into different shapes so that you can do those different shapes in different colours. I'm also doing some stripes in the background. And sometimes I'm only using half the circle to make a sort of wiggly pattern there. So with step two, that's where we get to colouring, and you see that I've already started. Now we're going to use oil pastels for this, which you may not have used before, but they're really fun. You have to press quite hard to get a really nice, smooth, even colour, because we don't really want any gaps. So I'm going to start by colouring this shape in half circle in blue, and I am going to just press quite hard. Now sometimes I might want to be able to turn that blue colour, or whatever colour it is I'm using, into another colour. So in those areas I'm going to do it a little bit softer. You'll see I'm using the oil crayon on its side. Then I get the other colour and I start to come from the other direction, and then I go over where I've used my previous colour, and it sort of blends in. It's very clever. They're very oily, so they sort of mix together, and you'll see that of course blue and yellow, as you know from the colour wheel, will make the secondary colour green. But what happens is the tip of the oil crayon gets really dirty, so you need some scrap paper nearby so that you can clean it off, clean that blue off the yellow crayon. I'll show you what happens in a minute when you don't clean off the crayon first before you use it. It's a good idea to have some blue tissue to rest your hand on so that you don't get your hand all oily and smudgy and smudge your work. So have a piece of blue tissue nearby and you can rest your hands on it as you work. So here I'm doing another shape in yellow. I'm not going to blend that one. But this one I am going to blend, and I'll show you that I'm going to go from yellow on one side of that shape and I'm going to make it go into white. And where I want it to start becoming white, I'm just doing it a little bit lighter, so I'm not pressing so hard with the yellow. Here I'm coming in with my white, but oh look, it's dirty. So it's actually polluted the white. So I'm just going to have to put up with that because it's still got some blue in it because it wasn't washed, wiped from last time. But that's okay. I can just pretend that that's what I wanted. Now the next one, I thought that I would do the shape again in blue, coming from both ends, quite dark blue, but then in the middle of the shape I would make it into a different colour. So you can see here that the two ends of the shape I'm colouring as normal in blue, pressing quite hard with my oil pastel. And I'm using that blue tissue to cover up the other part of my drawing so that it wouldn't get all smudged. But where I'm going to blend it with the next colour, I'm actually doing it a lot lighter. And I'm leaving some gaps, some paper, so that allows the white, which I'm now using, to come in and just have a bit more space to blend it. See, it's now going into a lighter blue in the middle because I'm blending that dark blue with the white. Sometimes a bit hard with oil pastels to be really neat with your lines because the oil pastel is so thick, it doesn't have a thin nib like a pencil. So you have to be careful when you're going around the outside of your lines. You can see here that it gets lots of little flakes of oil pastel, and that's good to put onto a piece of scrap paper, and then you can transport them to the bin at the end of the class.